Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope you're feeling strong. This article here is from fxstreet.com and it's titled XRP Price Poised for Recovery on Popularity with South Korean Traders and SEC Lawsuit Development. This first bullet point here says XRP is the most popular altcoin in South Korea. There's a lot of very intelligent people in South Korea, especially technologically speaking. When I was younger, they used to always have everything first in South Korea. When I was in college, we had a lot of South Korean students that would come over and attend the college, right? And they would always have the sidekicks type phones, flip out phones before we did. They had everything before we did. Oh, it was always that way. And everybody would walk up to them and ask them questions and such. What I'm saying is, such an advanced place loves XRP. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. It says with 20.7% of Gen Z investors holding the altcoin, according to a recent survey. I told you, it's a rebels coin. For people who think differently, they're visionaries, right? Gen Z has a lot of that. They're very rebellious. It reminds me of us from like the 80s and the 90s. Very rebellious. You remember how rebellious we were in the 80s and 90s, don't you, growing up? Jean jackets with the arms that zip off. I mean, it was all types of poofy hair in the 80s to the crazy colors in the early 90s. Pump up sneakers that don't actually do anything. Remember that? Oh, we had it all. We had it all. Gen Z, while they're different in their own way, they're very similar. These bank coins. I don't want to say altcoins. These bank coins. They're for rebels, visionaries. No matter what may come, they're symbolic of the mind states of people, symbols. But look deeper than the superficial. But let's keep going. I could get deep with a lot of things. I really could. So Ripple Counsel informed the judge of their availability for a trial in Q2. That we got an update on that in some article from last week. It says XRP price is likely on track for a 55% price rally with two bullish catalysts. There's no guarantees, folks, but that's good to hear. That's good to know. And I want to hear a variety of opinions, not one thing. Because between the variety, the extremes of this way and that, maybe I'll derive some truth from that. That's how I like to study. I study everything. So I know the up, the down, the left, the right, and I make a decision for myself. It says here, South Korean investors' preference for XRP and the latest developments in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. These two catalysts are likely to push XRP price higher in the short term, which will be fun. People love that. They do. This is a recent survey in South Korea revealed the altcoin's popularity among Gen Z. XRP has emerged as a favorite among more than half of the South Korea's copy traders and 20.7% of Gen Z investors. The survey was conducted by News One Korea, a media agency headquartered in Seoul. Here's something random. You know what's weird? So many people have seen the Conan movies. I mean, the original Conan movies. Did you see those original Conan movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger? This is when Arnold was in his prime. But wait, first of all, tell me, anybody who was young at that time, right? Let's say like in the 80s. You were young in the 80s. Tell me when James Earl Jones turned into the Serpent Man, that wasn't terrifying when you were little. Don't stop. Don't lie to me. Come on. Be truthful now. James Earl Jones turning into a giant reptilian. Bro, what were we watching when we were children? Listen, we had so much crazy stuff. We had they would put that on TV, right? Regular TV. You're just tuning in, you just clicking around, and you just see that. But anyway, how many of you have seen the Conans, but you haven't seen Red Sonja? You didn't see Red Sonja? I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they did not see Red Sonja. I was like, what? How do you see the Conans and not Red Sonja? They used to put that on TV as well. But anyway, on TV, they used to have a lot of crazy shows. Conan, right? They put that on there. The movie Freddy Krueger, they'll put that on there, like right at night, like right, like on a Friday, like children are gonna be watching TV on a Friday. They'll put X-Files. When you hear that X-Files music hit, oh boy, then you better not. If you were a scary little child, you better not be watching TV. When Halloween time comes around, they was gonna put Michael Myers on TV. Oh yeah. And let me tell you something else. Back then, the children were hardcore. Yeah, they were hardcore, weren't they? Let these people know in the comment section. Maybe you won't. A lot of people don't leave comments anymore. But so let them know. Kids were hardcore. They would scare you all week at school. They'd be talking about scary stuff. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. It was a fantastic time to be alive. You could go to the park. You ain't have to worry about anything. Now it's all crazy, right? People getting snatched left and right now. You can't really do what you used to do. But we used to be in a park all the time. No parents, right? And it'd get dark. And it's always that one friend. Tell me I'm lying. There's always that one friend. It's like dark. There's one light on in the park. And somebody will say, look over there. There's somebody behind the tree. There's nobody behind the tree. But you're little, so your mind gets going like, maybe there is somebody behind the tree. Oh, somebody next to you is always the one who saw. I saw it too. They didn't see anything. But you're convinced these are your friends. You don't know your friends are a bunch of bozos. They're playing you, or their imaginations got going. Fun times. Anyway, let's get back to the crypto, right? Ah, boy. See, I come from that rebel generation. We do what we want. Jean jackets with the zip off sleeves, throwing your middle finger up everywhere. I mean, like that whole do what you wanna. I do what I want. That kind of stuff. This next article here is from U.Today. XRP welcomes massive capital inflow. Here's price reaction. Or I don't know why they title it like that. What is it? Let me go scroll to the top and see if the URL thing. Yeah, that's what it's titled. That's so weird. Here's price reaction. Okay. Let's see what they have to say. It says the broader digital currency ecosystem is experiencing a market capitulation in what has been tagged one of the most eclectic weeks thus far this month. With the market outlook trending toward conservativeness, XRP has stolen some spotlight for itself after inking a marginal gain of about 1.84% to 52 cents, according to data from CoinMarketCap. Scroll down here. It says, as a digital currency with a massive embrace from both retail and institutional investors, XRP has seen a massive influx of customer funds, which has toppled its 24-hour trading volume. Per current data, this particular on-chain metric is up by 4.75%, with more than $955 million traded on spot markets overall. XRP has remained resilient in its price performance as its outlook in the trailing 7-day period is significantly more than those of its peers, including Bitcoin, Ethereum. It is not uncommon to find XRP in the top list of high-performing coins, as it arguably has the biggest hype in the industry at this time, and I don't think that's going to change if that's true. I don't think this is going to change. People know what XRP is going to do. They're super bullish on XRP, and for good reason. And all of us have our different reasons, right? And what separates the XRP army from most is that most of the XRP army has a mind of its own. They found out on their own. They weren't convinced by anybody, so there's nobody that can shake them. So they're going to stay super bullish, that's pretty much what it is. So now, let's move on here because we got to get to some of this bank news. Crazy things are happening in the banking industry. It just continues to collapse, but everyone turns a blind eye to it. So this is from CBS News, and it's titled, Wells Fargo Experience Intermittent Issues with Some Transactions. And it goes as such. Wells Fargo experienced issues with some aspects of its banking system on Thursday night, according to the bank itself, and hundreds of complaints on Down Detector, a platform that tracks service outages. Remember, they can only track those who launch complaints on Down Detector. It says problems range from transferring funds to declining ATM cards. We keep hearing this. Why is it happening? This has been happening. They've been getting hacked. Not just Wells Fargo, a myriad banks. But because their systems are antiquated. They're breaking down. So this is just the beginning. This is one hole in the floodgates, the dam. Right? Sooner or later, a bigger crack is going to occur. Their system is finished. From what I can see, they can only repair it with the new financial system. Why do you think Ripple is going berserk? Algorand going berserk. They're shaking hands everywhere. XDC, same thing. Look at the conferences they've been at lately. Shaking hands, like this year, shaking hands and getting close shoulder to shoulder with all these banking giants, trying to ensure they know what is superior. This is a major problem. And very, very good. This shines a very good light on the new financial system. It says hundreds of complaints on Down Detector, a platform that tracks service outages. Problems range from transferring funds to declining ATMs on Down Detector, with the bank tweeting that some customers had issues with the fund transfer system Zelle. Why is Zelle, which is just like FedNow, keep that in mind. Why is Zelle always having these problems? I've been reporting for months on all of these different problems that's happening with Zelle. And the crazy part is they're not burying that information. They're letting it be known. These are mainstream news sources. Like I said, this is CBS News. So if Zelle can experience this, what makes you think that FedNow can't? This is why do you think FedNow is trying so hard to rely? They're bringing in certain blockchains. Even if they haven't actualized it yet, they're there. Volante Tech, a Ripple partner, is there, right? If they want to use them. I'm not saying they're using them right now, but they are there. They can use them. The other one that's built on Hedera, they're there. Why is FedNow getting so close with them? Because they know. Why are we getting all these reports lately about the central banks being interested in the DLT systems more than usual? More than usual. And I just want to just put it out there. When I say BIS has that new thing going on with Ripple, it's not because they're using XRP or using Ripple. I saw an article like that. BIS is not using Ripple is not using XRP. I'm not saying that they did. I don't know who is, but they do have a partnership with Ripple. Whether it's for research, information, advising, it doesn't make a difference. It's a starting point. And they're a bank that's always saying that they're trying to work with the private industry. And they're a bank that has run tests on Stellar and on Ripple. Heck, wasn't XRP and Stellar both in the same contest at one point? Facts. I just want to put that out there. So a number of users on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, posted complaints about their accounts. Quote, "There is an issue with our banking systems currently. Our technical teams are aware and working to resolve the issue. Thank you for your patience while we research this issue," unquote. The bank tweeted in a response to one such post. So there you have it. The legacy system continues to burn to the ground. And it's crazy because people will still tell me, this like regurgitated talking point, like what Jerome Powell and these governmental officials say, that everything's fine, that nothing's wrong. The system, they used to tell me that the banking system would not collapse. That's what they used to tell me in the beginning. I keep all of these thoughts. I don't forget anything. And it's crazy to me. Like, you see all of this happening now. And I think it was very obvious at that time when we first started reporting on this, when we first got in here, which was right before the last bull run. It was a little bit before the last bull run, like that January. And now you see they're having problems. Every single week says, quote, "There isn't currently some online banking customers are unable to complete transfers or Zelle transactions within online banking," unquote, the company tweeted in response to another. And that's terrible, knowing how much people need the capital right now because they're struggling because the U.S. economy, I wouldn't even say U.S. economy because I don't even want to make it debatable. But let's just say the people on the ground are struggling, which is the bulk of the people in the United States. You think not, you better get on TikTok. Video after video after video of the people talking about how they can't even afford food. Video after video after video of the people talking about how they can't even afford groceries. But individuals would take these talking points from the government and say everything's fine. No, it's not. They need to repair the system. They need to repair the systems. And the banking system is not serving well. This is not something that the people need. This is why I say that companies like Stellar should push. They should push. If they really wanted to help the people, they should push. You see, Algorand is making a big push. Ripple is really for the banks, right? The big money wholesale CBDCs and such like that. So I understand their position. But the new financial system could help the people because they can take control. If you have independent wallets and you have alternatives to U.S. currencies like XLM, Algorand, then the people can custody their own capital. They're in control. Stellar is a nonprofit. That could definitely help the people out a lot because they're not going to fail, right? You could always move that capital to somewhere else, another wallet, another exchange. There's way more leeway to move your capital around other than just having it sitting, let's say, as an example, folks, not financial advice, having it sitting in a Wells Fargo account and then you can't even move it, or having it sitting in any account and you can't even move it because the bank is so antiquated. They cut so many corners trying to save capital that now you can't even access your money. You see what I'm talking about? The new financial system doesn't just help companies and banks. It helps the people on the ground. And they always have the option, if they don't want to move it through something like XLM or Algorand, they could always move it through some stable coin, right? If they want to do that. The thing about stable coins is that I believe in the future, they will be as controlled as CBDCs will be. I think they will get conscripted, but that's up to the people whether they want to use it or not. I mean, they're comfortable using dollars, correct? All right, so let's move on here. So now this article here is from the dailyhodl.com and it's titled JP Morgan Chase won't reimburse customers who lost $30,000 in banking scheme. Look at all this stuff that's going on. Why is no one talking about this? A JP Morgan Chase customer who lost $30,000 in a sophisticated banking scam will not be reimbursed by the bank. Melissa Ferrari says she recently received a text message and a call from someone whose phone number matched the customer support number on her Chase debit card, reports the Portland-based television news station Coin 6. Aren't they supposed to scan their systems to make sure that it doesn't happen? That cloning type of thing doesn't happen? Quote, I got a phone call with a very recognizable Chase voice of a female saying that there was a potential wire fraud on my account and that I needed to press 1 to speak to a fraud agent. After pressing 1, Ferrari was connected to a scammer and began handing over personal details on her bank. So be careful out there. You do what you want, but I'm just saying, be careful. After a few hours, the scammer told Ferrari to go to her bank in person to, quote, unlock her account, unquote, which she did immediately. According to Ferrari, a teller at the bank said the account appeared to be fine. Quote, they're giving me reassurance that everything looked fine. And I walked out the door, not realizing that I was now launching this whole scheme on the part of someone on the phone that didn't work for Chase. The scammer promptly sent $30,000 in wire transfers out of Ferrari's account in the span of 7 days. Ferrari says she then went to a different branch where a representative said Chase had failed her. Wow. We're going to stop right there. That's eye-opening. I'll say that. Be careful, folks out there. There's a lot of scams going on, all over the banking system, in crypto, scams, rug pulls. But you already know that. You know that. You people are pretty wise people out there. So now, let's go to this article right here. This is from GainesvilleCoins.com. And it's titled, The West is Losing Control Over Gold Price. It says, an important change has unfolded in the global gold market. The East has been driving up the gold price, predominantly in late 2022 and the first months of 2023. We were keeping up with that with the different articles at that time, breaking the West's long-standing pricing power. And we know why they're buying gold as well. says until recently, Western institutional money was driving the price of gold in wholesale markets such as London, mainly based on real interest rates. Gold was bought when real rates fell and vice versa. However, from late 2022 until June 2023, gold was up 17%, while real rates were more or less flat, and Western institutions were net sellers. Most likely Eastern central banks and Turkish and Chinese private demand lifted the price of gold. Then we have this section here titled "The West is Losing Its Gold Pricing Power." It says, let's start by reviewing the correlation between real rates and gold. Note the TIPS yield axis in the charts. We're going to skip the charts here. It says from March until September 2022, the TIPS yield rose dramatically, but the price of gold reacted less bearish than the quote rates model unquote previously prescribed. As London was still a net exporter over this time horizon, I conclude the West was still in charge of the price. But then came the third quarter of 2022. From late October 2022 until June 2023, the TIPS rate was barely down while gold was up 17%. Remarkably, the West wasn't driving up the gold price, as demonstrated by UK net exports, declining Western ETF inventory, and falling COMEX open interest. All right, so we're going to stop there with that article. So things are changing in the world. BRICS nations have added some very powerful nations to their ranks. And that was all strategic. Little by little, you climb the mountain. Multipolar world is coming. New financial system is coming. I think all the powers can see that. It looks inevitable at this point. Let's go here to this article. We're going to close out with this one right here. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Appreciate you being here. So this article here is titled, it's from the dailyhuddle.com, first of all, and it's titled $48 billion in deposits exit U.S. banks in 1 week as money market funds report massive inflows. New financial system is looking real good. Billions of dollars are flowing out of traditional banking system. Let me say that again. Billions of dollars are flowing out of the traditional banking system as money market funds witness a wave of inflows, according to fresh stats from the Federal Reserve Economic Data System, FRED. $48.81 billion in deposits exited American bank accounts from August 10th through the 16th. Oh, the total amount of deposits in American banks has dropped from 18 trillion to 17 trillion, a decline of $740 billion. The deposit flight comes as money market funds record the largest level of inflows in 6 weeks as investors look for steady returns on their cash. While remaining, and weren't we talking about this for like an entire year, how terrible checkings and savings accounts are? Like they give you barely anything in return. And this is one reason why they attacked the crypto industry when it came to staking, because they were given at one point, they were given disgusting gains, very, very good gains on staking, and banks can't compete with that, right? So people are still going to look for a way. It says while remaining net sellers on U.S. equity funds, data from the Refinitiv Lipper shows investors just poured $32 billion worth of purchases in money market funds in 1 week, reports Reuters. Healthcare, financials, metals, and mining and utility sectors saw losses of $747 million, $579 million, $556 million, and $497 million, respectively. The rush into money markets comes as an increasing number of analysts forecast a more drawn-out, higher interest rate environment, as I was saying the entirety of this year and part of last year, that they would continue to raise rates because they have to. Let me read that again, that little piece. Increasing number of analysts, professionals. So it's not just me saying it anymore. Now we got the professionals jumping in because they have to. Forecast a more drawn out, higher interest rate environment rather than a sharp pivot from central banks. Why do people always tell me I'm wrong? I don't like that. Right? Because I can respect other people's opinions. A lot of people just don't respect mine. Right? And they say, oh, Mick, no, the banks won't collapse. And then the banks collapse. Multiples of them collapse. We even had a few this summer. They just got purchased. As they were going belly up, they got purchased. Right? Then they say, oh, Mick, they're going to pivot. They're not going to raise interest rates anymore. They can't. And I say, yes, they can. They will. They have to. And they have been. And they will continue to do so. Despite all the chaos that will ensue. So, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So, until next time, let's get to the money.